The biggest mental disconnect that I have with most people today regarding politics is this belief that your vote doesn't matter. I don't just make political content online and pretend like that's going to be enough. I try to actually talk to people in real life. And far too often, I hear the exact same thing.
Politics is way too much to pay attention to right now. I get overwhelmed, and then it's just white noise.
What's the point? It's all rigged. Neither side gives a damn anyway.
My vote doesn't change anything, and I don't see the point in wasting my time.
And while that couldn't be further from the truth, I've struggled with finding a way to show people that they're wrong. Because the truth is, the people in power want you to feel that way. That feeling like your vote doesn't matter, that helplessness. That's not just apathy. It is by design. It's the result of decades of deliberate effort by people who absolutely know that your vote matters. But the biggest secret of all is that they are terrified of you realizing it. But if you need proof, like real time, caught on camera, oh shit, they said the quiet part out loud kind of proof, then here it is. Right now, as I'm recording this, the president of the United States is openly conspiring with the state of Texas, my state, to change the way the congressional map is laid out in a way that he says will guarantee Republicans pick up 5 seats in the midterm. And I'm not speculating. He said that out loud to the press.
Are you calling then for a complete redrawing of the congressional map ahead of next year?
Just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
And
but
where
we have a couple of other states where we'll pick up seats also.
And to be perfectly clear, he didn't just say that out of nowhere. He said it after holding a private call with Texas Republicans that same morning, where they talked strategy on how to redraw the map in Texas. And then, hours later, Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced a special legislative session to make it all happen. So what's their angle? How are they justifying it? Well, the Department of Justice, led by one of Trump's most loyal sycophants, Pam Bondi, suddenly decided that 4 districts in Texas, yes, 4 districts held by Democrats with large Black and Latino populations, are unconstitutional racial gerrymander. Wild how convenient that timing is, because what's even wilder is that these same Texas lawmakers just finished testifying in court last month that their current maps were drawn blind to race. And yes, that's a direct quote. So, which is it? Did they draw them without considering race, or do they need to fix them because of race? Oh no, Landon, please stop asking questions. I'm sorry. I simply cannot do that. The thief is inside this house and a robbery is happening in broad daylight. This is the playbook, y'all. And trust me, Texas is not new to this game. In fact, this is exactly why the Voting Rights Act of 1965 existed in the first place. After it passed, Texas became one of the states where any changes to voting laws had to be approved by the federal government. That system was called pre-clearance, and pre-clearance meant that Texas couldn't just pass new voting rules or redraw districts in secret. Every single change, no matter how small, had to be reviewed by the Department of Justice or a federal court to make sure that it wasn't discriminatory. If a new law or a rule had even the potential to suppress minority voters, it would be blocked before it would go into effect. Pre-clearance was a powerful check on politicians who, when left to their own devices, had a long history of finding clever ways to keep certain people from voting at the polls. And it worked for decades. Pre-clearance stopped hundreds of unfair changes and made it possible for every Texan of voting age to participate more fully in democracy. But all that changed in 2013 when the Supreme Court gutted the law and stripped away those protections. And what did Texas do with that freedom? They closed 750 polling places, which, in a surprise to nobody, disproportionately targeted Black, brown, and low-income neighborhoods. They passed one of the most restrictive voter ID laws in the country, once again, disproportionately impacting voters of color. And in 2021, they passed Senate Bill 1, or SB 1, which banned drive-through voting, restricted mail-in ballots, empowered poll watchers to intimidate voters, and made it easier to toss out ballots over technicalities. And oh, no, it did not stop there. In more recent years, hundreds of additional polling places have been quietly shut down, again, mostly in Black and Latino neighborhoods. So even if you technically still have the right to vote, that right gets buried under long lines that stretch for hours at the polls, or last-minute changes that confuse people because they don't know where to go to vote, or even longer drives to far-out polling places that not everybody can afford because not everybody can afford to have a car. The goal has always been the same: to silence voices of color, to silence low-income and Black and brown voters, to keep political power in the right kind of hands. After SB 1 went into effect, ballots from Black, Latino, and Asian voters were rejected at a much higher rate than white voters. And the worst part is, the people whose ballots got rejected were far less likely to vote in the next election. Because that's the damage. That's how they win. Not by stopping us from voting with barbed wire or riot cops, but by breaking our spirit, by making us think that it's not worth it. And now they're trying to redraw the map all over again, but this time they're not even pretending like it's anything but gerrymandered anti-black and brown political hatred. Trump says out loud that Texas will pick up 5 seats. His DOJ gives Abbott a letter saying we found a problem, wink wink nudge nudge. Abbott calls for a special session, and within days, Republican lawmakers were ready to erase districts and silence voters right in plain sight. And why? Because the rule of law in our country has been thrown out the window in favor of a wannabe dictator who says things like, people don't explain to me, I explain to them. Because that's what we want, right, America? A president who doesn't believe that he can be told anything. One who doesn't believe that he can learn anything from anyone. That he, and only he, knows all. And that he is the only one who tells others how things are. God, this was all so fucking avoidable. It was all so avoidable. But that's why this has happened in Texas, because the GOP, a party that I disagreed with but could at least find common ground with, has been hijacked by a feckless, vindictive, best friends with a child wannabe dictator president of the United States. And you can miss me with all that Democrats are just the other side of the coin bullshit. Yes, Democrats have their problems. They are not the perfect political party, but only one party has actively tried to disenfranchise American citizens from voting. Only one party clings onto a voting system designed to give white slave-owning states more weight by counting their slaves as population, but not allowing them to vote. Yes, that's why the Electoral College is designed the way that it is. Only one party makes it illegal to pass out water and snacks for people waiting in long lines to vote. Only one party wants your voice to be silenced. So let me be as clear as I can possibly be. Yes, your vote absolutely fucking matters. Because if it didn't, they wouldn't be trying so hard to stop it from being counted. They wouldn't need 100 years of voter suppression. They wouldn't need to rig maps or close polling places or purge voters off of voting rolls. They wouldn't need to weaponize the DOJ against us. They wouldn't need to pick up 5 seats in an upcoming midterm because the dictator-in-chief's polling numbers show that he is the worst president ever. So when someone asks me why I'm so goddamn pissed off all the time about what's going on in our country, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Why aren't you? Oh, they do all this because we matter more than they want us to believe. But so many of us simply refuse to see that. Y'all, this isn't about Texas. This is about every state, these United States of America. It's about the fact that when regular people participate in democracy, the people in power freak the fuck out because they know that they cannot win fairly, so they cheat. And cheating is something Donald Trump is literally an expert at. Just ask his wife. No, not that one, or that one, or that one, or that one. You know what? Whatever. If you've made it this far into the video, first, thank you for paying attention. And if anything I've said here today fires you up, good, it should. Now, please do something with that energy. This is the system that we live in, and it doesn't get fixed unless we actually fight back. So talk about it out loud in real life. Share this video if you want to, but you don't have to. Just talk and call out this scam however you can, but just call it out for what it is. Call it out as loud and as often as you can, because silence is what they're betting on. And if we stay quiet, then they win.